Biden's approval with younger Americans has all but collapsed since January 2021, according to new polling. Let's take a look at a few of these surveys conducted recently. Biden's approval with this age group has dropped to just a 29% approval rating, as you can see in blue, and the disapproval rating has gone up from below 40% all the way up to a 55% disapproval rating, represented by the orange line. For younger Americans with no college degree, the disapproval rating peaks at 56%, while 27% approve of Biden's job. Young Hispanic Americans disapprove at 49%, according to the poll, and 32% approve, though we've discussed other Hispanic polling on this show that showed even lower numbers than that. This poll shows that young Black Americans have the highest approval rating for Biden at 45% approval, with only 26% disapproval.
Ugh, not good numbers, though.
No, it's interesting to see that young Black Americans continue to be the most loyal cohort, but that doesn't seem to mean anything in terms of the Biden administration's willingness to offer Black American voters what they say they want to come to the polls. You know what? You love it. It should be some kind of a buzzer or drinking game because you know I'm going to talk about student loan debt.
If it was a drinking game, that would be great.
The thing is, the reality is who has the most student debt in this country. It is Black women voters, one of the most consistent voting groups at the polls, disproportionately skewed younger with respect to who holds the debt, although not exclusively. As I've said repeatedly, everywhere I'm given an opportunity to say so, the fastest growing cohort of debtors, student debtors in this country are senior citizens, with something like 60,000 Social Security checks garnished in 2018, the most recent numbers I have, to pay student debt. And all that being the case, and student debt cancellation being one of the few things that Joe Biden can do by executive order without the consent of the Senate, all on his own, put money in people's pockets ahead of Election Day when we're looking at these poll numbers and he's still declining to do it, boggles the mind.
Do you think Biden is just too old to be well-liked by the youths increasingly?
No, because Bernie is beloved. He is perhaps the most, at least he was, I suspect he still is, the most popular politician in America, particularly with the under 30 set.
Right.
There's no excuse. It has to do, look, I know we live in a media climate that wants to reduce everything to these kind of identity characteristics and say, well, you're like this and that's why you favor X, Y, and Z, or this person has these traits and that's why they're disfavored in these kinds of reasons. But the reality is, whatever you felt of the Bernie and the Bernie movement, is that part of why he angered the pundits and prognosticators so much is because he bulked all of the expectations of who was supposed to like what. Here was this old, crotchety, not especially traditionally charismatic man who had the biggest crowds in 2016, the biggest crowds in 2020, the most youthful crowds, a diverse coalition, number 2 with Black voters in 2020, number 1 with Hispanic voters in 2020. And if people want to figure out if the Biden administration wants to know what they can do to up these numbers, I think that's who they should be taking a lesson from.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.